Welcome back, everybody. Third live stream of JavaOne, third day of JavaOne. We're going onto the finishing stretch here and looking forward to getting another full day of good content, closed by an Ask Your Architect session that I'm looking forward to, that somebody irresponsibly put me in charge of. We'll definitely put that on the Java YouTube channel. So you're already here. Make sure to subscribe and to see that. But that's not what this stream's topic is about. This stream's topic is all centered around the community. Java is so much more than just technology, and all the people in it make it vibrant and make it what it is. We're going to be here for about half an hour, and then we're going to go downstairs to the community keynote, so you can check that one out and enjoy that one. And I'm not here alone. I'm here with my colleague, Billy.
Colleague, yes.
Stealing your joke here, by the way. That
is my joke. I have used that joke many a times just to make it clear. And it's actually sometimes very funny to see the reaction. They're like, oh, wow, you really don't like that guy. And I don't, but no.
Yeah, so since we are talking about the community, I never ever asked, what is your origin story? What brought you into this?
Yeah, it was a dark origin story. It's fitting of comic book history or comic book heroes. No. So yeah, probably a fairly common story is, I was working at a local company in Kansas City, something that's no one's ever heard of, but it's called NIPR. And we did very exciting insurance regulations, not just insurance, but like regulating insurance. And
so it's like two levels deep into the bureaucracy.
2 levels deep of bureaucracy, yeah.
And the class names, I guess.
Yes, very much so. And so at some point, I kind of realized I needed to start kind of growing outside of just the immediate network at my job. And, I guess somehow I kind of found about meetups. I don't know if someone mentioned it to me or what exactly it is, but I eventually...
What time are we talking?
I think this is probably like 2012 or so, 2010 to 2012. I can't quite exactly remember when I first started going to my local meetup. But yeah, I started attending there. And, it was great. There was actually 2 really close friends that we're still friends today. We do like a monthly happy hour and all that stuff. I got to know them through that local meetup. But yeah, I became consistently going to that meetup. I eventually, at one point, tried doing a presentation. And I
love the phrasing. I tried doing a presentation.
Yeah, I tried. It did not go well, unfortunately, for that first time. And maybe that was about 2010, 2011 when I first started going. And I think it was 2012 when I tried doing my first presentation. It didn't go well. Luckily, one of the people there, so actually one of my friends there is Rob Wentz, who is the head of Spring Security.
Yeah.
And I did a presentation on Spring Webflow. Luckily, he was there to kind of help me through that presentation. But one of the things that was really funny was like the idea of my presentation at the time was just like, developers we're very technical people. Like, so I was just like, just focus on the tag, like no jokes, no nothing. And so like not only did the presentation only last like 25 minutes when it, should have been aiming for an hour. It was very, very dry. But still, it was a good experience.
At least it was short then.
Yeah, exactly.
Short and dry.
Short and dry. But progressively, I got more involved. For a period there, again, my friend Rob, he started up a Spring Java users group in Kansas City, and he asked me to help out with that. So I got involved in that. We ended up starting like a new Java users group then, separate from the initial one we were going to in Kansas City, because that one became inactive. And so I've been helping out with that. I think that was 2015, 2016.
So now you crossed from just, being in the community.
Yeah.
And I think like even just being there, it's a great way to be in this community. But still it feels different, I think, from just, and like big quotation marks here, again, being there's an important part of it. But from there into contributing actively into, so it took you a couple of years to start to give back and start.
Exactly. So exactly. And really that is a very important part, is just consistently showing up and also bringing a friend as well, because that can be very helpful to use.
You have friends?
A couple here or there, or colleagues where I'm working at. I suggest that. So, yeah, that's kind of at least a bit of an overview. Eventually, I started doing more regular presenting, and it kind of led to my current career as a DevRel. But how about back to you then?
I'll answer briefly, but that explains, by the way, because I did ask you this on Monday, and people will see it later in the little video that we have prepared. I asked you on Monday what you started out. You just gave like the short version of this. It was like the presentation that didn't go well.
Yeah.
Well, you know a little bit more of the details of the background there. But also security. You said security, right?
No, it was Spring Webflow, but because my friend Rob Winch, he's part of the Spring team, he also just had general familiarity with all things Spring. And also he's just a really smart guy.
Okay, I thought you said security. Okay, my bad then. So I'm going to say, like, that's also like a challenging and tough topic to start out on.
Oh, yeah. Or what was like, at the time I was working with Spring Webflow at my job. So like I had like hands-on experience, but like also sometimes you learn, like there's great to have that hands-on experience, but oftentimes when you're just needing something for your role, like sometimes you just only focus on what you need and don't always. And doing presentations is a great way to kind of like fill out your knowledge of like, okay, like this is what I needed, but like there's always going to be more features and available. So like I was trying to expand that out, but it didn't go so well again for that particular presentation. But that is always also a big benefit to doing presenting, is you want to make sure you look knowledgeable on that.
Yeah, like it really helps you. Like, so it's many things, and that's true for all kinds of things in life. Actually, you think they are true, you don't know why though.
Yeah.
And once you say them out loud or have to present them, like put them in writing for like the world or even just your team to read, you're like, wait, do I know that?
Yeah.
And then you start looking things up and realize, nope, you didn't actually. That was wrong.
Yeah.
Or even if it was right, you get to learn more in the background. So yeah, like this is basically the same way that rubber duck debugging works, right? Forcing you to put your thoughts like in a structure where it's even just language that people have to understand makes you work with them like, oh wait, no, that's actually not. I don't understand it well enough. Actually,
there's a famous Mark Twain quote: "Is that the thing that gets you isn't the things you don't know, it's the things that you think are right but actually aren't right."
That sounds about right.
That sounds about right. Yeah. So but how did you get started getting involved in the community?
Yeah, so I studied first math and then computer science in a very theoretical branch. So it wasn't really, we did some software development. I wouldn't call that software development. We did some programming in university, right? But that was not what I intended to have as a career. And when I realized my original career is not going to pan out, I was like, okay, well, looks like I have to be a software developer then. Yeah. But I really felt like I didn't know anything much. Yeah. So basically, immediately...
What has changed?
Now I think I know stuff. So I started just basically immediately just, Googling all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And landed pretty quickly on a bunch of blog posts that I didn't know that back then, but now I know that was my first contact with the Java community. Like I want to specifically call out Lukas Eder, for example, whose blog is just equal parts entertaining, informative, and just hands up insane, which is exactly the right way to be if you want to be. That was 2011, 2012, 2013, early Twitter days, right?
Yeah.
Not early, but compared to now at least.
Compared to now, yeah.
So... because that's good content. It's content that gets people interested, riled up to a degree, makes you like head smash, like what the heck is this guy doing? But it's fun. Yeah. And so this blog post, but also other people's blog posts, I started following specific blogs. And so that was really, as I said, like what I would consider my first contact with the Java community without noticing back then. I think really noticing was a little later when I looked into Java user groups and presenting.
So funny enough, also, kind of what really eventually led to my current role here is I started doing like a presentation on what's new in Java 9. And of course, Java 9, the major feature in that is the module system. Modules. Yes, just modules, Java modules. That's it. And
you say module system 3 times, or Mark Reynolds going to appear?
Well, I think there's a different acronym that he's more annoyed with when it comes to modules.
You just say that once and he appears.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
No, exactly. But all the same is when I was learning about it, your blogs, articles on that was very helpful because I was trying to read their technical documentation from the JDK team, and it was a bit too dense for me at that time, or maybe I'm just too dense to fully understand it. Yeah, I
took the joke out of my mouth.
There you go. But yours were very helpful for kind of breaking it down for me to better understand it. And I know also one of the fun things was like there was a panic because I was about to give like a major presentation, at least for me at the feeling at the time, on that. And I was on vacation, and there was like the whole, is the module system going to be in Java 9, or is modules going to be in Java 9 or not? And I was also on vacation. I was just like, well, I'm going to be presenting to this like 100 people when I get back if modules are removed from Java 9. So
okay, I can see that anxiety, and add to that, I was in the final throes of writing the book.
Yeah, that's way worse.
And I was like, that was actually one of the reasons why I didn't stay in university, because this like long periods of work without like having intermediate results that are satisfying is not something I'm built for. I just can't. And the book was more of that, right? And I didn't notice that in time. I'm still happy I did it. But during the end of that, I was having a hard time. Shout out to Jan Boyarsky, by the way, who helped carry the book over the finish line. So she did a great job there.
Oh, so she's to blame for...
No blame. All blame goes to me. But so I was kind of like done with book things, doing like writing and editing and everything, and then was like, maybe we don't even have this. And I was like, I was close to table flipping. Like I took in this pause time in Java 9, was not sure it was going to be released. I just did nothing. I was like, no, I'm not, because that would have been also a good time to catch up, maybe, right? I was like, no, I'm not going to do anything. Yeah, so I think talking about crossing that line from consuming, because like if you are going to a community, you are actually being there. If you're just reading blog posts, I wouldn't consider that even being there. I started then, as I just mentioned, like blog post. That was 2014, late 2014 is when I started my blog. Back then, still codefx.org. And then 2016, I started presenting. And the date, I looked it up again, is March 16th. Which is going to become important in a minute. Because the same questions that you was talked about how people got into the community and what was their first contribution, or what they consider their first contribution, is something that we asked a bunch of Java champions, a bunch of speakers here at JavaOne at the speaker dinner on Monday evening. And so we have the video here with all the answers. And let's roll the video.
Okay, so what's your name?
Hi, I'm Richard.
Hi, I'm Shijitang.
And how did you first become aware of the Java community, of that there's a group of people doing this thing together? When did you first realize that? Or how?
I think I went to a JavaOne conference.
Oh, really?
Ixchel Ruiz. I think it was during my university years. At that time, they started teaching Java. I started with going to classes, and then there was an advanced lab for computers, and a lot of people were already talking about like doing something on the web. It was cute. It was an applet.
I hate to ask you, but what's your name?
Billy Korando?
Kai Horstman. Jeff Martin. I started in the Objective-C community, and I had a reporting tool. And the Objective-C community disappeared. Next, started porting everything to Java, and so I moved to Java.
Susan Peterson.
Dan Vega. I ended up like starting going to conferences and like learning. It just became one of my like favorite communities around because everybody's so welcoming. It is a great community to be a part of. So when you get invited into this community and people are welcoming, it's easy to stick around.
Jim Boyarsky.
Shor Chander. By attending the very first JavaOne.
David Perry.
Michał. I think I randomly got a Java job. Then a friend from the company basically said, "Oh, there is a conference that you can go, and it's open. You don't have to pay even." So we went.
Nice. So what would you consider your first contribution to the Java community?
I think I wrote an article on, back in the day, Java Lobby in North Carolina. Shout out.
I started contributing to our local Java group in Warsaw. So I've been running here for like almost 12 years, but I'm retired now.
I'm Simon Martinelli. First contribution was I was starting the Java user group in Bern in Switzerland in 2011.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm your boss.
Damn it! What do you consider your first contribution to the Java community?
When I started to help for organizing a conference, which then turned to be DevOps Belgium.
A really, really terrible presentation on Spring Webflow.
Sounds like all your presentations.
Hey, they've done better.
I fixed a typo in an open source project.
That's a great way to start out. Actually, exactly 10 years ago was my first presentation in Java User Group, to the day.
Fantastic.
And what's today?
What's today?
Yeah, just tell people now.
March 16th, I want to guess?
Yes.
It has been a fever dream the last couple of days. I don't actually know.
30 years ago, I wrote a Java book.
A drawing program for nerds called Report Mill.
Building Java tools.
I think writing articles for any new features, mostly on LinkedIn, and now my first speaking opportunity.
NetBeans. I'm sorry.
A few weeks ago, my PR was for LangChain4j was merged, so maybe that counts.
Yeah, that surely counts, definitely.
Hey, I'm Brian. I am the lead of the Netherlands Java user group, and I work as a developer advocate for Sneak. The first time I got familiar with the Java community was through the NL Jug, and I never heard about it until a colleague called me up and said, like, hey, you should be there. So I became a member, and I joined the conferences, and that's how I became a member of the Java user group.
Nice. So is there any recommendation for people to contribute to the Java community?
I would say just first go and attend and then meet people.
Come to conferences and talk to people.
Lame.
There are so many things that you can do. You can open source software. There are many projects, also the big ones, where you can contribute. They have issues that are beginners friendly.
Yeah. So speaking as a Jug leader, going to a Jug consistently and bringing a friend.
The most simple one is saying, I'm here, I want to belong. We have one of the most open communities ever. That's what I love about the Java community. We're super open. So there is Java user groups, conferences, on-conference, forums, newsletter. We really try to improve our community and the language and the ecosystem in general.
All right, and welcome back. So we are going to be doing something a bit fun here. We were talking about Jugs earlier and how we got started at our local Jugs. So there is Jugs all around the world. And so we asked our colleague, Anna Maria, to provide 10 different Java user groups. And we're going to, based on their logo, try to guess where they are on the globe. And so I vibe coded this together a couple of days ago. And you even see here that we don't even have like the boundaries of the countries.
Yeah, so we're setting ourselves up for hilarious failure. That's the goal
exactly, here. Exactly. And that's why it's two idiots. I mean, sorry, Java DevRel is doing this. So
I didn't even.
So with that said, let's get started.
Let's go the rules. So we see a logo and then you place it.
Yeah. So yeah, we see a logo and then we each take a guess on where it is, and then it will appear both with the name and then where it actually is on the globe. So
let's go. I can see nothing going
pretty
wrong.
straightforward. The
Vigo
Jug.
Where could Vigo be?
That is a good question. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully not upset too many people. So
do you recognize the? I mean, we're clearly gonna help us out a little bit here.
Vigo,
do you recognize the
mountains?
The mountains seem to
mountains. Okay,
seem to be a thing.
There's a lot of mountains up in the Scandinavia region, so I'll guess there.
No, I don't think so. So I don't think they have. Don't they have like just like the? I think the JUG organizations are like higher level than that. Don't they have like nation? I don't know. Okay, look, I'm just gonna go with something in the Andes.
Okay.
Which is probably a little bit too courageous. Let's go.
Okay. So it was up in Portugal.
Or is it
Spain? Oh boy.
Oh, wait, once again,
we don't know.
Well, we're close though. The border goes around there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I was about 2,000 kilometers off. You were a mere 9,000 kilometers off. So already this is not looking good for you for the tiebreaker. So, all right, let's check on to the next one.
So I asked Anna to do this. Oh, wow.
Helsinki.
I asked Anna to do a few, a few harder ones.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where Vigo landed in that setup. Okay, how well do you find Helsinki?
Helsinki? Oh boy. See, now I might be a rarity, but I actually do have a pretty good understanding
the streets are in here, though.
of geography. So I think it's pretty, or is it one of those two? That is Finland, so it's probably one of those two.
Yeah, but it's not that one.
Not that one. Oh boy.
That one.
Wait,
what?
What? Did it just randomly move you, or maybe
the Helsinki Java user group moved?
Oh, that could be an
Into
issue
the,
of
what,
bad
Indian
data.
Ocean or something?
Well, yeah. I think the latitude and longitude got backwards there. We'll just blame Anna. She's not here right now. For
Also,
this.
I got a point, so I'm good.
No, dang it. Yes, Helsinki.
For your education, it would have been this area. Though.
Okay, that one.
Next time we play that, I think we need to pull out the. No, I'm not sure anymore, but I'm pretty sure. Next time we need to pull out the streets,
Helsinki.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's see what else we have.
Yeah, so no streets even.
Ooh.
So, Shenzhen. Okay.
So now do we play like the. Wait, was Vigo even in Portugal then? Do you think it's all flipped, or do you think just the...
No, I think that one was correct. I think there's a couple where maybe the data might be not quite correct.
Because now I'm wondering whether we like, on top of after finding where it is, we should like mentally flip longitude and longitude to just like find the right place. Oh, you're going all in, huh?
Yeah, going all in. I'm pretty sure, right? That's I'm pretty sure that's Hong Kong, and Shenzhen's across from Hong Kong. If memory serves here.
Ooh, you're like, I would not have been able to find that much. I'm gonna trust you and just hope that I find the city center better. There we go. Let's do that.
Okay, we're 26. Oh man, I should have had it flipped to where you have to guess first and I had to guess first.
Absolutely. But you didn't come with that feature request, so I want to see. I just want to see. Where is it? Wait, which button is which thing?
So I think the red one.
Yeah, the red one is the right one.
I don't think it takes place at the airport, but I think we just kind of do like the city center
thing
of that. All right.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's important. I'm pretty sure that. So this data, by the way, is pulled from dev.java. So you go to dev.java to the community tab, and then there's all the Java user groups in a handy map layer, which is where we took this data from. So I guess we have a correction to make soon.
Yes, we do have a correction to make to the Helsinki Java users group.
And I'm pretty sure this is based on the city and not on any
on where the actual location is. But yes, also, as Nicolai just said, be sure to go to dev.java, the community, and find your local Java user group, because it's a great way to get involved in the community.
Yeah, I should not have heard from all the other speakers that played an important role for many of them.
All right, Morocco jug.
Ooh.
Wait, how about you try to guess this first?
Okay, since I'm now playing for player one.
No.
And then I'm going to play me. Okay, Billy, look, you have to play me now, but you can't let down the Moroccan Java user group by misplacing them.
Oh my God.
Please take a
This is unfair. This is unfair.
Yes.
No.
Let's see. Okay, I thought it was like scrolling into the Atlantic there.
I'm guessing, let's see, is it Aruba or something?
Wow, Billy, look at you. Look how long is 16,000 kilometers. Look, even now, you're still barely off worse than me because
of your first initial horrible guess. Nice.
Good job, though.
Yeah,
good job.
Thank you. Yeah. No, the Morocco Jug, I believe they also run the DevOps Morocco community as well. So that's also a great conference.
The Josie Jug doesn't have a logo.
Yes.
Josie, what could that be? Jose's home turf?
Josie, did he name after his own, his own jug, after himself? That would be.
Any idea where that could be?
Josie, where could that be?
Like, it's strange with the Z, so I'm not sure whether it's entirely readable at home because of the but it's the J-O-Z or Z-I.
There might be an issue with the
fine.
File path. So,
what could that be?
I will go maybe. I'll go kind of in this region.
So kind of Eastern European?
Eastern European. I'll see. All right. This is going to be fun.
This is going to be fun, yeah.
Because there's a lot of other
places. But the other thing about going first is you might be able to take away a good guess. And
now
I'm looking like
I know.
I'm not sure whether I could come up with it, but now that you say it, it sounds about
plausible.
Yeah,
plausible. Yes. All right.
Okay, let's go further. Let's just go
maybe like Georgia.
Turkey's like Istanbul, right? Okay, let's just maybe there's like a little one somewhere in Turkey that I'm not aware of. Let's see.
It's
South.
Johannesburg, maybe that could be. They maybe. I believe, or is that? No, I don't think that's Johannesburg.
I'm guessing that's
Johannesburg. Yeah, based upon the.
Okay, so I think like I'm in a 4-1 lead here. I don't think you can catch up with that. So,
it's best out of 10. So I still just need to run the table. We are out of time. Okay, all right.
Wait, but Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish losing. Fine.
All right. Oh wow. Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Oh yeah.
Melbourne.
Yep. Okay.
Now we do play that game. The thing is, you could play me.
Yeah.
You could just intentionally say, like, I'm sure this is Melbourne. Because you're better at this than I am. Because I don't know where Melbourne is on the map. Look, I'm going to be honest. Let's say I wouldn't. I know it's on the East Coast somewhere. I don't know where. Yeah. So I'm not going to just copy your pick because I trust you. And I see the streets.
You shouldn't. Actually, I think I may have picked Sydney there instead of Melbourne.
Oh,
so
that's true. Wait, you picked the bottom one? Then let me pick this one.
That's probably Brisbane. If I know my geography. Yep. Yeah, Melbourne is at the very...
but you got a point on the board.
Woo!
Second point.
There we go. The last point's the most important one to get. That's in my opinion.
So with 4 points left to go, we'll battle this out fist to fist, I guess.
Okay. All right, let's do it. So.
Yeah. We'll do that in the 2 minutes that we have while you guys are watching a little bit of a behind the scenes to see a little bit more of, what this looks like before everything is set up and running. So, David, roll the video. Hey, so this is me on Wednesday morning. You might be able to judge from my shirt if you watch everywhere else streams. So this is right before the Wednesday morning stream. And I want to take this opportunity to show you a few things here backstage. So what you're seeing here is the studio. You've probably seen this angle a bunch. And you might have seen this angle a bunch. And that up there is not at all an accident. That's entirely intentional. We call it modern art. And let's see whether we will roll with that on the stream. Similar thing there. So this is the studio that we stream on from. This is in the Redwood Shores Oracle Conference Center, I think is the official name. This studio was not built for Java. It was built for the Wild Corporation, but we get to use it, which is pretty cool because it's the most professional thing I've done in my life, I think. And the person supporting the most professional thing I've done in my life is David. Say hi. Hi. So he's my boss, he thinks, but I think we don't share the same opinion on that. So yeah, here's like this, look at this. This is what goes into making the stream, because there's a lot of wiring, there's a lot of cameras, there's a lot of screen shares, there's a full schedule of what happens when and what button to press when. And that's not all. Look at this. This thing is basically a TV studio. We're dangerously underutilizing it for our little streams here, but it's still fun, as I said. And this is like a little bit more of the block. Then here we have Dennis, also a tech guy, and also involved in the playground a whole lot. So if you work with the playground in any way, shape, or form, then you have interacted with Dennis' work. And he's also playing a very important role here for the stream because we're going to have a bunch of guests, and guests need to be ferried in and out. And being, like, this is where you need to go, and this needs to sit down. So all of that needs to happen while I yap on camera like I do here, hopefully more informative than that. And now let's go out and let's have a look at the conference, although I can already tell you that nothing much is going on there because it's early. And because it's early, nobody's here, which, makes sense. Oh, but look at this. Beautiful lighting. A really nice little sunrise here. And then let's have a look downstairs into the hall. And there we go. Oof. Formation sunrise. Staff there getting ready for people to arrive. The keynote starts at 8:30, so people have plenty of time to be here by 8:30. And so yeah, that was that. And now back to the studio.
And we're back. So we talked about each other's origin story, but we haven't talked about our origin story, which is also somewhat funny. So back in 20...
Because you made it up.
It's totally made up. Yeah. Can you mute his and then I can tell this? And no. So back in 2018, I worked for IBM, another very small tech company, and I was immediately sent off to JFall in the Netherlands, and that's when I met you there because you were also speaking there. And so, anyways, it was like the attendees dinner, and we're all staying in like a large group of speakers and attendees. And at one point, you said, how, hey, does anyone want a beer? And so I'm like, yeah, of course, and whatever. So you walk off and you come back and you only had a beer for yourself. So if you ever wondered why there's this antagonism between the two of us, it all goes back to this initial event of you promising to get me a beer without you actually delivering. So.
I remember none of that. I claim it's a lie. But I also hear that I would love to go into this more, of course. But I think the keynote is about ready. No, the keynote's not about ready.
The keynote isn't ready.
So I can't contest that story. It sounds like me, though. Maybe that was not going on. Lots of
So I like to contest. He's like, actually, that does sound like me. So
like now that I actually like forced my hand with the actual contestation, is that a word? Yeah, I have to fold. Yeah, that could happen. But there's lots of ins and outs, lots of things going on. So,
but I'm still
I think
not
the more
over
important part of that story is that I don't even remember meeting you.
Oh,
because you told that story for the first time like a couple years ago.
It's just like a General Bison is like, for you, the greatest day of your life is meeting Nicolai. For me, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah, I meet him all the time. Yeah, like, I get to bask in my own glory.
That's
I'm not sure we should go down that road because I think probably people have already reason to believe I'm megalomaniac, and I really try not to be.
Yeah, no, they have good reason because
no, that's not true. I have been humble. Like I think this was
that
like
one
a couple
time.
years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I was humble one time.
Yeah, Jeff was actually interesting that you bring that up. So JFall is. I really like the vibe. So if you've never been to JFall and if you are close enough to make it, I can absolutely recommend doing that because so it's in a cinema.
Yeah, and where is JFall? I guess I didn't quite touch on that.
That's run by the NL JUG, the Netherlands JUG, and it is in a little town in the middle of nowhere, Netherlands.
Yes.
So as an American,
yes.
I would say it's close to Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Yes. I mean, is that pretty much the only country or city that's in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
That's where Brian Vermeer lives, by the way. So he just, I feel like I need to
somewhere
point
in
that
Netherlands.
out. Yes.
Right. So it is in Ede, I think is the name of the town.
Yes.
And they run it in a cinema. And I have to say, usually I don't like cinemas so much as venues because while the rooms are really good, you know, you often they're like padded, you have good audio, like the seating arrangement is high, like how we call it, like the in-talk experience is good.
Yeah.
But most cinemas are not built for all rooms exiting at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's often very crowded. Like low ceilings. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of natural light.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just like, specifically if you are there for more than a day, you start at some point and be like, can I see the sunshine please once? Sir, please.
That's a pretty common experience at conferences though.
Yeah, but I think like cinemas do that more than others. And what I like about the JFall in Ede is that they have, the cinema is just like long drawn out and it's like a huge glass wall.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of like natural light coming. Still, it's still super crowded though, because again, cinema is not built for everybody being in the hallway at the same time. But it also gives you this like really like crowded conference experience. They have like so many stalls there and stands and companies and like you get popcorn and food and this and that, like all this crazy Dutch food thingies that they're like constantly forcing you, which is basically always a different kind of combinations of carbs and fat. Like that was kind of a new way to get that into you.
Yeah, absolutely. So JFall is very nice. I'm sad I haven't been back for a number of years now, but highly recommend going if you ever get a chance to do that. But yeah, that's also a little bit of how you can also get involved in communities. You know, sometimes you start just attending a JUG, then you might start actively helping organizing with a JUG, then you may eventually start helping to organize with a local conference as well. So you can kind of continue to ladder up, and it's also a great way to build out your network as well. So
yeah, it's very important for some people to get hired when their companies fold a year.
Yes, life can come at you fast. So, having a network that exists outside of your immediate organization can be very good, because also how that can also work is a lot of your people who know you best are also looking for a job as well at the same time. So having people outside of your immediate colleagues is very helpful.
Yeah, I think, it's to a degree that's certainly in a very, like, an American experience, I have to say. Like, this whole thing of, like, the whole organization is getting axed. Like, the whole, like, there's, like, all the 100 people you ever knew in this organization is laid off with you. Yeah. It's not something that is, I'm not saying it's not happening in Europe, don't get me wrong, but it's not that common. And specifically not on this, like, kind of cycle that specifically American tech companies go through. It's, like, where they're basically, like, breathing employees in and out. Which is kind of wild the first time you're around. So that's definitely that. What I found interesting, by the way, is that when you listen to the answers of what people said at the speaker dinner, their technology did not play a big role, right? I think it's kind of like as given that, yeah, of course, you know the technology, right? You don't need to be an expert by any means, but you need to everybody knows it well enough, right? Everybody's aware of how things go. And so the maybe often also surprising bit, the unexpected bit, is that there's all the humanity and the community on top of that. But we should not discount the importance of, I think Simon Martinelli put it in the video, and I said it as well in my answer, which I cut because that guy was stupid, which is, one good way to contribute and also get into the community is, of course, also write code, find a Discord server that discusses the same kind of issues, maybe hang out on Reddit. So there's so many technology-driven ways to do that if you don't feel like hanging out with a bunch of nerds on a Thursday evening.
Exactly. That's what we'd be doing later, Yeah,
that is true. That is exactly our Thursday evening.
Yes.
Good. Then now let's give it a second try for the keynote.
Please welcome to the stage Oracle's Senior Director of Product Management, Shar Chander.
Welcome to JavaOne. I think we could do a little better on day 3. Welcome to JavaOne. So we can't have JavaOne without Duke. So the question is, who has good hands? I may have to throw a couple here. Maybe another one. We'll get you some more later. So we're all developers here, and we live in numbers. We thrive in numbers. Numbers motivate us to do so many things. Maybe it's 42. Maybe it's 6767. Am I cool enough to say that? But another important number we celebrated last year, on May 23rd of 2025, we celebrated 30 years of Java. 30 years that has powered the world with Java applications. 30 years of innovation coming from individuals just like you. Another important number is, this is the 25th edition of JavaOne. JavaOne represents all the technical innovation from the Java team, all the business value that we drive to enterprises around the world, powering the global economy. But fundamentally, it's about you. Today is a celebration of community. Today is a celebration of participation. Today is a celebration of collaboration. So put away your laptops, take out your phones, bring that energy, because fundamentally, at the heart of Java is you. Our ethos has always been people first, technology second. We want to understand, what are your motivations? What are you trying to accomplish? Where do you want to go in the future? And we can only do that at a human level. That's why we invest so much of our time beyond the engineering, beyond the development, beyond the customer engagements, to connect with the community, individuals like you that then matter and focus on where we can take Java in the future. It's hard to imagine sometimes as we think about that 30-year journey, where we have gone and what we have become. We touch every facet of the planet with user groups. We have over 1 million Java-certified developers around the world working at enterprises, thinking about the next set of innovation to drive value to end users. Whether they realize it or not, Java touches every part of our lives. And today, we'd like to ensure you have a fundamental understanding of just how powerful the community is for Java. We'll go through some areas that are so mission critical to keep that heartbeat strong, to keep that ethos vibrant, to keep that energy alive. And what a great way to do that than focusing on an important dimension of Java's future, which is Java in education. So please help me welcome Heather Stevens and the education team from Oracle.
Good morning. So what do you think? Have you had a great week? I had an awesome week. You? Amazing. Seriously, I learned a lot. You all, I have to say, this community is so special. I love that you are intelligent and accomplished, but more than that, I love that you're genuine, that you're kind, that you care about doing the right thing, and that you're deeply curious. And I think that spirit, what you bring to this, is exactly what it's going to take to partner with educators to bring that next generation into modern Java, especially as we ride this wave of AI and all this rapid innovation. It's hard for them, right? So that is awesome, and I'm deeply honored to be on this journey with you. We have a treat for you today, but before we do that, I'd like to bring the Java and Education team out here to share some of their insights with you. So let's bring them on. So Crystal, you are, oh, you want to know? Crystal is a powerhouse educator. She's a curriculum designer, and she is the perfect bridge back into the educator community with her Java knowledge. She has had a busy year. She launched Learn.Java. She's been partnering with the College Board and helping educate educators. And she's been out there on the conference circuit with things like, even just this week, our Educator Summit on Monday. So Crystal, do you want to share a little bit about what you've been doing?
Yeah, so we launched our Learn.Java website, a site to support teachers and students in their quest to learn Java last year at JavaOne. And the site has just grown in the number of tutorials and videos and embedded practice with the Java Playground. But more importantly, in the number of students and teachers that we witness using the site every single day. And so that's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to continuing to grow that website as the next year unfolds. And then, yes, we have a partnership with the College Board that's fantastic, and through them, more educators were trained in Java to teach the AP Computer Science A course, their course in Java. And they just released a suite of labs that are engaging and have themes like data science and machine learning. So that's wonderful. But I think I am running on a high after the Educator Summit. Many of you may have seen some of the educators in our sessions, just being able to witness the advances in Java. And that Educator Summit, we were able to spend a full day with 16 rock star high school and higher ed faculty members who just shared with us. They were curious about what's new with Java, but then shared with us their concerns and what they need support in. And I think through this week, through the summit and JavaOne, it just has become really crystallized how imperative it is for us to continue to have open dialogue that bridges education and industry.
I love it. And also one thing many of us got to do this week, we got to do a little field trip over to the Oracle D-Tech High School. We got to talk to some of the students about their award-winning robot, and they showed it off, and that was so inspiring. That is the next chapter in this team, to begin to bring that joy and creativity directly to the students. And so I am thrilled to welcome Sophie Minaya to the team. Sophie, what are you most excited about in your job?
I think one of the most things I'm excited about is that this moment right now is so special. Java is one of the strongest languages in the world, and as we start to use AI more and more, it's been incredibly refreshing to see how the language is adapting. Like many of you in the audience today, I started my career with Java, and I'll now have the privilege of helping write the story for what Java will mean to the next generation of engineers.
Awesome. Thank you both. Thank you. And thank you to all of you for helping with this. It really is going to take a village. Okay, so on to the treat. I don't know if you noticed, we have 30 university students here this year, which is just absolutely fantastic. If you haven't had a chance, please go say hello, stop one of them in the hall. They have a lot to share, and their perspectives are super cool. So the treat is that a few of them agreed to do a student-led panel. I didn't design it, they designed it. And so it's them doing their thing for you. I'd like to welcome our panel. Give them a Java welcome. Okay. So, hi everyone. As Heather said, so I'm Piper. I'm a senior at Stanford University. We are so excited to be here today with you, and we have a bunch of absolutely wonderful panelists. So without further ado, I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So panelists, your name, your university, first Java project, and then one word to describe the future, no AI.
Yeah, I'm Andrew. I'm a senior at UC Berkeley. My first Java project was type 1 diabetes research, and my word is fun.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I'm a master's student at Northeastern University. And my first Java project was a Roman numeral converter, and my word is collaborative.
I'm Jared Guidry. I'm a master's student at Boise State University. My first Java project, I used JavaFX to do a drone waypoint distance time calculator. And my word is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rohit. I'm pursuing my master's in Santa Clara University. And my first Java project was a grocery billing and inventory management system. And my word for the future is creative.
Well, the future will certainly be a hoot and a half with AI, that's for sure. So we're all here to talk about Java, right? And this section in particular, we're talking about learning. So particularly for Rebecca and Andrew, who I know you both are really interested in education, how has learning Java affected your worldview?
I remember when I first started learning Java, finding it really finicky and verbose. But then I quickly grew to really appreciate it because it reminded me a lot of Latin and ancient Greek, which is what I studied in undergrad. And something that's taught me is how, especially when learning, how to truly think twice and to look more closely at things, because at first something that might seem like a flaw or inconvenience is really what gives that thing its strength and its power, and also what makes it whole.
Yeah, it's been so fantastic over this week to kind of bond with you over how our studies in the classics have affected the way that we develop programs today. But since I'm going to graduate soon, I think a lot of what I've been thinking about is what was the whole point of studying computer science for 4 years? And I think really the conclusion of that is that it's taught me how to grapple with the infinite complexity in the world in intuitive and fun and, just joyous ways. And I really only learned that the whole point of this education wasn't, how to write the for loop or how to do all these frankly cool programs, but it was to learn how to learn and to work within context in an elegant manner.
I totally agree with you, and I really love that because that's something that's been really interesting for me. When learning Java, it's how it can help with just creating systems to clearly define complex ideas and patterns to be able to make sense and build relationships between components.
Thank you both. And obviously in CS, it's a toolkit to solve problems, right? That's what we're trying to do. And so to my other two panelists, Rohit and Jared, what are you excited to create, or what problems are you excited to apply your skills to?
Before I started this CS endeavor, I studied aviation heavily, and I was really interested in wildland firefighting, and specifically to use, aerial firefighting. But drones are going to be a major part of that. And I read a research paper that had 2 aerial vehicles and a ground vehicle, and they were using computer vision to triangulate a controlled burn. And the goal of the project was to create an algorithm to try to predict where that fire would go. So in summary, I want to hang out in the woods, play with computers, stare at the sky, and light stuff on fire.
Well, let's hope the respondents get to it as soon as they can. All right. Now, when I look at all the discussions that we've made so far, I think we can all safely say that cybersecurity is part of everything that we do, everything that we will face in the future, and with a lot more rigor. So the thing that I want to apply my CS skills to is in that field. And I'm hoping to achieve leaps and bounds.
Cybersecurity is, I feel like, is a very broad field, just as broad as computer science itself. And when I think of cybersecurity, I think of Kali Linux, I think of my SQL injection type stuff. So like in cybersecurity, like where would you narrow your scope?
Oh yeah, excellent question. So like you mentioned, it's a wide world out there. But with the recent growth of AI assisting developers, QA, and the rest of the engineering, we also need tools to equip our security analysts. So I'm looking mostly at security tools, which are AI augmented, machine learning augmented, which boosts the productivity of our security analysts.
And then what do cybersecurity-based AI tools look like red teaming, blue teaming? Can you expand?
Oh yeah, for sure. So, I did this very recently in my reinforcement learning project, where I built agents that would attack a simulated network environment, which would typically look like something of an enterprise network, although at a small scale. So it was pretty interesting to see how different models compare against each other, what are the different configurations that you could have, how they fare well overall, infiltrating the entire network. So that was pretty cool. If anybody's interested, we can talk about it.
Yeah, thank you both. And so for our final question, we will be doing something of a lightning word round, and I have a very super secret list of words here that have been specifically picked for each panelist, and they're going to give a one-word response to whatever comes into their head to the word I say. So if something piques your interest, I suggest you go and talk to them afterwards about it. Okay, here we go. Forestry.
Computer vision.
Curiosity.
Education.
Rhythm.
Movement.
Food.
Ooh, spice, Indian spice.
Garbage.
Collection.
Good job. Oakland.
CS.
Aviation.
Sky.
Industry.
Ooh, a lot to explore.
Berkeley.
Better than Stanford?
No. Humanities.
Classics.
Coffee.
Energy.
Cipher.
Ooh, protect.
LLMs.
Evil.
Compiler.
Computers.
Virtual thread.
Fast.
Java.
Love.
Okay. You can head on that way.
When I heard Java for the first time, all I could think of was coffee, and it means so much more than just that for all of us. And so our ecosystem, our community, we measure maybe close to 10 million, somewhere between 10 and 12 million, but there's always room to grow that circle even wider and even greater. And so it's so important upon all of us to ensure we welcome new students, new developers into that community. One of the greatest ways we can do that, to facilitate that at Oracle, is through Learn.java, where we have curriculum for teachers and students that are also beginning that journey so they can be part of this amazing community. So you might have heard something called AI, perhaps. I always knew it as action items, adding to my plate of work, which I typically always do. But it means something more than that. And this week, we celebrated how Java is enabling AI and how AI is enabling Java at a technical level. But it's also important to understand how AI is affecting us at a human level. And I'd like to bring out developer advocates from the Java organization, as well as some recognized luminaries in the AI space.
So, thank you, Lisa. Thank you. So, throughout the conference, you probably heard multiple times AI in different sessions. So, it seems to be present in our lives in one way or another. And we are now together as a community, and we thought that would be nicer and better if we find out together, those in the room and those that are watching us online, how AI tool adoption is going on. So, without further ado, we prepared a small poll to give you some questions to answer, those of you that are online in the room. We're going to show it to you in a moment. And moreover, we are also going to have here today with us some guests that are probably going to guide us and tell us more from their experience with AI tools, and together find out how the adoption is going, how can us, the developers, benefit more from this tool, and how can we stay relevant in the industry that keeps evolving. So,
let's get the poll up, then we can start voting. And I want to present you our two guests today. We have Paul Bakker from Netflix, staff software engineer. Netflix is doing a lot with AI, also in their software processes, so we're very curious to hear more about how they use this. And there is Simon Martinelli from Switzerland. He's a programming architect for Martinelli LCC, and he sees a lot of big Swiss companies from the inside when he goes consulting. So also there, we're very, very curious how these big companies adopt AI for their coding workflow and what we can learn as developers. You want to swap to the question already?
Yeah, no, let's take a seat first, and then we swap
to
the question. Let's stay comfortable, because we have a lot to discuss and unpack. So the first question that we are going to ask is, how often do you use AI for coding? Now, this question is for you in the room, but also for our guests. And please feel free to answer this question, because it will be relevant for us to know how frequently you use AI for coding, and we're also going to debate a little bit on the stage while this is going on. So I will start with Simon present here. So looking at these numbers that keep evolving, how do you feel that the adoption is compared to what you see in the field as a consultant?
Yeah, I think based on my customers, I think the distribution of the answers are quite accurate. It really depends on the company size, on the industry, how far they are. Some are not allowed to use AI tools still, and others use it daily, multiple times, or some even have some AI processes in place already with agentic AI, and they're very far. But really, industry is very important, so it differs.
Yep. Paul, anything that you would like to add to this?
No, I think most developers at Netflix, including myself, are using these tools pretty much daily or all the time. I don't know what the difference is between daily or all the time. We do sleep once in a while. But yeah, I mean, it's such a useful tool, and we're basically also being told, like, hey, go experiment, go learn about these tools, figure out how to use them best. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Thank you. I think we can move to the next question from our Paul. So I find AI most useful for...
Yeah, we've been a bit mean because you only get 3 options out of these 6. And honestly, I think when I look at myself, I'm using it for all of those. The other day, Anna Maria asked me, I hadn't realized, like she asked me, how long is it ago that you spent like 4 hours on a really stupid bug you wrote yourself to find what it actually was? I'm like, hey, that's true. Like, thanks to AI, that hardly happens ever again. And then even if I find a bug, I can be angry at AI because if AI wrote it, and not myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for our guests, how do you find AI, what do you find AI most useful for? By looking at that, but also you can add more from your experience. Starting again with you, Simon.
I find it useful for everything.
Oh my God.
I mean, I use it daily. I don't even know when I wrote my last line of code.
Oh, wow. That
no,
kind of...
It's probably a year ago. But I'm very into AI-driven development already, and that's also what I'm consulting, by the way, with the customers. I help them introduce AI agentic workflows, how they could work with that. And I would say especially for documentation, because it's not only the software engineers, it's also the requirements engineers, for example, or the product owners that could benefit of AI.
Thank you. Paul, if you like.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you can write features faster, like that's the easy thing. But the other thing that I notice, at least for myself as well, is that it also helps you write code better, because you can kind of use it as kind of a pair programming tool, and you kind of bounce ideas of it or look at different ways to do things. And I find it really useful to just come up with a better solution. So maybe I'm still doing most of the work in the end, but it will be better than if I were not using these tools. A completely different way that I'm super excited about is that we are starting to drive large migrations with AI tools as well. So we're using Cloud Code, for example, to migrate from Spring Boot 3 to Spring Boot 4. And that's work that no one is really excited about, right?
Yep.
And now we can just basically do that with agents, and people don't actually have to touch that code anymore. And if the migration succeeds, we can just merge it to main, deploy to production, and everyone is happy.
Oh, that's interesting, because you say people don't touch the code anymore. Does it mean you have a good test coverage, so you're sure that what AI did actually works?
I think that is even more important than it always was. Like the fact that we have really good test suites and we have really good canaries, and we can be assured that if we merge something to main, we don't break production. Like we already put a lot of effort into having these systems in place, and now we can leverage that to move faster and basically even deploy AI-created migrations and things like that.
Wow.
Let's go quickly to the next one.
Okay.
With AI tools. Okay, sorry, you go.
I want a question too. Okay. So with AI tools, I feel like I'm less productive, about the same, or then any category of more productive. Interesting. It's good that we put the less productive category in there.
Okay.
I heard Brian Sambodden say on another conference that he feels about 30 times more productive with AI, but he's also 30 times more angry.
Yeah, we couldn't fit that in just one question and ask for both.
The anger part?
Yes, the anger part. And we also want to actually emphasize the positivity usage of AI. So keeping it really short, overall, how are you feeling when you're using AI?
I feel good, you know. No, I can do things probably that I haven't been able to do before. So different programming languages or different tools that I can do now. But when it comes to productivity, it's not only the coding part, you know, it's also the requirements part, the spec part. I'm into spec-driven development. And so to say how much more productive that I'm before, that's very hard to say, in fact.
Well, Paul, you kind of said how productive you are in the previous question.
It's definitely helpful. And I enjoy it. Like, I can focus on the more interesting parts, I feel like.
Thank you.
So this means that like about 45% of people is 2 times more productive or more with AI. That's pretty
nice. Good. That's really nice results. Well, moving up to the next slide, what we kind of see in these results is what we've seen in the industry throughout time. Every time a new tool, every time there's been an evolution in tools, in languages, and so on, we have become more productive. So we have seen this when we jumped from machine assembly code to high-level languages. We have seen this with frameworks. We have seen this now with coding assistants. But there is something that kind of stays the same. People that are skilled and acquire the skills with the tools, they are always wanted to work with these tools and more. And the productivity, what I want to say is the productivity is also boosting the need for us, the skilled developers. So without further ado, I think we have time. We have time for one last question.
Yes. What I would like to ask is, when code generation becomes commodity, thanks to AI, what will set software developers apart? What skills will be hired for in the future?
So it's always been that if you write more code, it becomes more important that you write maintainable code, right? So that you can scale your code base and scale your systems into the future. I think that is now important for every developer more so, that you really think and architect for systems in the future and how they can grow. Because we're just going to produce more code, basically. And on top of that, also, how do you actually run them in production at scale? think about performance and things like that. So I think these qualities will be really what sets people apart.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would double that. So building solutions becomes important, not just coding, but building solutions from requirements to production.
Less code monkeys, more builders of systems.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, that's a very direct explanation. I like it. Well, thank you to our guests. It was really nice to have you here. And without further ado, we want to just find out also about how the startups are benefiting of Java and transforming ideas into software products. So maybe Shar can be back and introduce the next section as well. Thank you, everybody, for those who participated. And thank you to our
So that question, what is AI useful for, or what do I find AI useful for? For sure, it's going to make us more productive, but I like generating panda pictures. I'm surprised that wasn't on there. Listen, AI is another tool that all of us as developers can embrace to make us more productive. The connection between Java and AI is at a perfect time in our ecosystem for alignment. And so it's all about adaptability. We are constantly changing. We are constantly adapting. Enterprises around the world continue to use Java. But startups are also embracing that power as well as they start their journey and accelerate faster than ever before. And what a great way to highlight that than bringing on Chad Uramura, Vice President of Developer Relations, and some recognized startup founders to talk about their journey.
All right, I am especially excited for this panel for 3 reasons, I guess. One, because these guys are awesome. I've been talking to them and getting to know them, and they have a lot of great stuff to say. I'm excited to hear what they have to say. 2, I was a startup founder for 17 years before joining Oracle. And 3, don't tell anybody I said this, but after 9 years, I never thought I would be at a large company for this long. But it turns out that the Java team and the Java community is just absolutely amazing and welcoming and friendly, and it's just like the time flew. I don't even know what happened. So let's get started. I have an easy one for you. Mandeep, why don't we start with you. Introduce yourself and tell us about your company.
Absolutely. Hi, can you hear me? Sorry. My name's Mandeep. I'm the CTO and co-founder at PumpUp, and we are an enterprise-first vibe coding platform for business users, so non-technical people, to build internal tools really easily. So the problem we see is that people are vibe coding outside of technical teams already, but it's really hard to get these into production, and you have no idea what's inside of them. So we provide an end-to-end product, a platform that kind of takes it from specs to deployment, all the way to maintenance, in a way that's governable, securable, and most importantly, that your infrastructure team are happy with.
Hi, I'm Zoran, and besides being co-founder and CEO of DeepNets, I'm a Java champion and university professor of AI and software engineering. The DeepNets, the software that we are building, is a Java native AI development platform that simplifies and accelerates AI development for Java developers on one hand, and on the other hand, for enterprises, it enables safe and scalable integration of AI.
Hi, I'm Colt McNeely, founder, CEO of Little Horse, and we're an open source company that lets you govern your microservices and, well, because of marketing, we have to say your microservices and agents with business as code. So if you remember infrastructure as code, it let you specify, deploy, and manage infrastructure with code. And with business as code, you can write your business logic at a very high level in Java and have it be orchestrated by our platform across many different services and systems. And the whole core of our platform is written in Java.
Thanks, guys. And so I had a reporter a couple of days ago ask me, so I get why enterprises choose Java, but I'm just not sure why startups would choose Java these days. Can you tell me, Chad? And I said, well, have I got the panel for you? Why don't you come on Thursday? So why don't you guys tell us why you chose Java and what it's done for your business?
Sure, absolutely. So I come at this from, my first startup was using Haskell, and the problem that we had was there's no ecosystem, no community, and then we built some stuff using Python. And I don't know if anyone's worked with Python at scale, but it just falls apart when you hit the certain limit. So for me, Java hit that really sweet spot where you had a big ecosystem, great tooling, and great kind of deployment and runtime capabilities, along with incredible performance these days.
Wait, can you repeat that one more time about what happened with Python?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It fell apart?
Absolutely. It just completely fell apart. Yeah, I have to say that again. Yeah.
Yes, well, actually, our motivation is pretty much similar. We have two main reasons. One's the technical advantage that we see in Java platform when it comes to mission-critical scalable applications, and the other one is the business opportunity because of the large business ecosystem that runs on Java platform.
Well, I mean, for me, I like being able to have free dinners when I go home, so I couldn't choose .NET. My dad wouldn't have liked that. But aside from that, Java performs great, and because we're orchestrating a bunch of very low latency mission-critical processes, we like to delegate the performance of our runtime to the folks at Oracle. And there's a ton of community, and as Mandeep pointed out, it's a lot easier to write large applications in Java because of the way the language is structured than a language like Python or .NET.
So as we've talked about this conference a bunch, we're at the 17th release in the 6-month release cadence. A ton has happened over the past couple of years. What are you guys really excited about? What features have you been able to take advantage of as part of the most recent releases?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, coming from a very strong functional programming background, it's been the advent of data-oriented programming. So a lot of my code these days are records, sealed interfaces, switches everywhere. So it's switches, exhaustive pattern matching, and try to get to a point where I feel confident that if it compiles with all this kind of compile time exhaustive checking, it is correct, and I can trust that. So that's the biggest feature for me is this move to data-oriented, immutable programming.
Well, for DeepNets, I think we have reached a breakthrough release. We're using the latest improvements of Java platform from Project Panama, like foreign function memory API and vector API. I think the Java platform is now officially have solved this computational performance problem that was a barrier for running modern AI workloads. And it's just like it's a saying, I think the latest the release of DeepNets proves that, and now you can do modern AI workloads on the Java platform. Now the work is not done. Now the platform, you have guys done your job. Now it's up to the ecosystem to develop, and it's up to the individuals and companies to work on that together. So I invite everyone to help you with that.
Mm-hmm. In my case, I did a little bit of conference-driven development. I was here last year and watched the keynote and went back to my team. And I'm like, guys, this virtual thread thing seems pretty cool. So instead of spending a couple months refactoring our event handling in the request processing side, we started using virtual threads. Then we started using generational ZGC. And the P99 latency on our soak test went from about 300 milliseconds to under 150. With very, very little work. So that's why you should keep coming to JavaOne.
I didn't tell him to say that. So we've been hearing a lot about AI, and a couple of you guys are focused on AI specifically. How has AI changed the way that you guys are thinking about doing development in your businesses, maybe your go-to-market? Like, what types of things are you thinking about? I'm compressing 2 questions into one, so answer however you feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess it started as just being more conversational, so you talk to it, and it's kind of gone more now into full-on coding agents for me. So I will now have several kind of agents running in the background in separate Git work trees, and it is doing a lot more work that we could do that I just couldn't have done before as a small team. So we can just go significantly faster with AI. But we still have to keep an eye on it. You still have to make sure you have a great structure around it, you have great configuration and agents, MD files, and make sure you are checking everything in at the same time. So but it has incredibly accelerated how quickly we can go to market with our product.
Well, AI really changed the way we do development and go to market in all the phases, from doing market research to generating materials and examples and documentation. We are very careful when we use it for development. We don't use it for development of the core features because we want to preserve our IP. But when we are doing examples and use cases, doing solutions, we turned out that actually ChatGPT is great at crafting solutions based on deep nets for any kind of application domain. So it might be interesting exercise for whoever is interested to doing that.
I think we've actually spent more time helping our customers use AI than doing it ourselves. And in particular, what we do is we've been helping a lot of our customers orchestrate agents and customer-facing processes by guardrailing the decisions that they can make and being able to act on decisions rather than giving them full write access to back-end systems. And using an orchestrator pattern kind of has helped a lot there. And our docs are, I'm afraid to admit, a lot written by AI now. So that's been nice.
Last question. For aspiring entrepreneurs in the audience and on the stream, what advice do you have as startup founders?
Talk to your users. There's nothing more important to talk to your users, getting out there and understanding what their problem is, because you're not really in the business of building technology. You're actually really in the business of providing solutions to their problems. And you'll only know that if you spend all your time with them, even more so than speaking at conferences, to be fair.
Yes, to add to that, understand the business value of your solutions and how technological features map to that business value.
Just hire people smarter than you and get them motivated so you can come and speak at conferences and bugs get solved while you're on stage.
And how do people learn about what you guys are doing? And if they're interested, where do they find out more information?
Just go to our website, really. Not even www, even anymore. pumpup.com, and just reach out there, absolutely.
Yes, also on website, deepnets.com, and on the LinkedIn. Feel free to message us.
Well, we just launched our 1.0.0 release on Tuesday, so check it out on GitHub, actually. GitHub, Little Horse Enterprises /Little Horse, like a small horse on GitHub.
Well, guys, thank you very much for coming. This was really cool. And I thank everybody for spending the time with us today during the keynote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a lot of energy to give these startups. I know many of you know founders, know workers there. It's our responsibility to pass on what we know. It's our responsibility to share all of that innovation, those ideas, those best practices, those use cases. And the best way to showcase some of that is with the power of our community. I couldn't think of a better way to do that than to have Jim Grisanzio from the Java Developer Relations team and some very recognized Java user group leaders to talk about how people matter to shape the future of Java.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. All right, welcome. Welcome to the community keynote here. In the last few minutes here, we got 8 minutes on the clock, so we get a rock here. We're going to talk about the Java user groups and overall the Java community and why it's important to contribute and get involved and all these things. It's very, very important. It's very, very empowering for us as individuals. I got a great panel here, Brian Vermeer and Marla Gupta and Bruno Souza. We got multiple countries here involved. Let's give them a great round of applause. Cool. Okay, so actually, I'll kick it over to you, Bruno, to actually have some questions from the audience.
So first, to get started here, let me ask one thing here. Who here are you a member of a user group? Okay, a bunch of people. Who here has gone to a user group, watched a talk, watched a video online, you learned something from a user group? Okay, lots of people. Now, who here is a community leader that you're running a user group or in Java or someone else? You know, stand up, the ones that are community leaders. Come on. Yeah, stand up, the ones that are community leaders. Yes, good. All right, so put your hands together for those guys, right? Okay. So, yeah, we're just here representing all of you guys here.
Okay, so what's actually interesting from that little poll is a lot of people who are involved, but it's not everybody. Right? It's not everybody in the audience, so this is really good. We can all learn from each other. All right, let's start off with some initial observations from Mala. Mala, what's your first impression of, or like some initial observations of what is the benefit from getting involved in a Java user group in the Java community?
That's a very good question. So at Delhi Java User Group, we have members with all kind of experience. We have students, we have senior developers, CTOs, and even CEOs. And what I like best about the user group that we have, it's a level playing field. Everyone's equal at a meetup or a meeting. So we see a student talking with a CEO at the same table, talking about the things that they're working on, they're excited about. And it's so amazing to see even a CEO learning from a student. It's like, wow, that's a wonderful project that the student is working with. And I think when you make connections, when you're not looking for something in return, those are the best kind of connections. Who do you think the CEO is going to hire when they're looking for new members for their team? The student that they talked with at a user group. So I think that's a great learning experience from all.
Yeah, I absolutely concur with that. What you see as well is that if people are together, that even senior developers learn from new perspectives of junior developers from a technical perspective. So it's not always the senior teaches and the junior is learning, but you see the knowledge flowing over and over again. And I think that is the power of being in a user group.
Yeah, Bruno, why don't you talk a little bit about career development, which actually bridges off what these were what these guys were saying, because you talk a lot about career, getting to advancement and things like that.
Yeah, and we know that research shows that over 75% of the jobs are filled by indication, right? And so when you participate in a user group and you join in, especially if you participate more, like you come give a talk or you share your knowledge, or those guys here that were kind of contributing and run the user group, you get to be on the spotlight, right? So when someone is looking for you, someone's looking for something that then they're gonna look for you instead of someone else, right? So I think that in terms of career, and then once you get hired to an awesome job, then you get to become awesome, right?
One of the things I've noticed over the years of doing interviews with a lot of JUGs, actually a lot of JUG leaders, is I run a podcast, a Deuce Corner podcast, and some of these user groups are very, very small, and some of them are massive in size. And one of the things I wanted to bring up to get your observations on is these user groups are actually running their own conferences now. They started off years ago, very small, when Java started, but now they're running entire conferences with thousands of attendees that are actually coming to the conferences. So, Brian, what do you think about that trend?
We do it ourselves. Like the Netherlands Java User Group is a Java User Group that's like now 5,000, 6,000 people, and we run 2 conferences a year. And you see that these user groups are growing and growing, and many of these user groups, the bigger user groups, do these kind of conferences to make sure that the broader people can come in. But I think it's not only about growth and having a conference, it's both like, who are you serving? I mean, you see in a lot of countries that you serve either a more general public, like we do in the Netherlands, but we also have the smaller JUGs in the cities like Amsterdam and Utrecht that serve a more local public. And then we need and we want to collaborate with each other. And I think that, I know that in India they're doing pretty much the same, right?
Yes, so we have started a new conference which is called Java Fest, and that's a developer conference, and all the communities, the Java user groups that we have in India, they are contributing to it, whether it's organizing the conference, having speakers, or even the attendees. So the last one we had last year, we had over 1,000 participants. So that was a good conference and growing by the year, and we are looking for more participation this year. So yes, JUGs are coming together, collaborating with each other. I think that's amazing.
And I think that is the most important part, is the collaboration between JUGs, because you're not competition. You're actually strengthening each other by, for instance, if Venkat is speaking at JFall, we inform the local JUGs like, hey, Venkat will come into the country. Maybe it makes sense for you to have a meetup with him the day after or the day before, so we can help each other and serve a broader community.
Yeah, and we have this collaboration with user groups all over. So right now, for example, I'm in the middle of a tour, and I'm going to visit 10 user groups here in the US. I visit many user groups in Europe, exactly doing this, like this collaboration. We do tours around in Brazil. You mentioned Venkat. We took Venkat on a 15-day trip in Brazil with 12 different user groups that we visit there. And I think that the Developers Conference is an event that just run for over 50 communities, not only Java, right? So, you can do, so Java's running this event with 8 communities at the same time. So, we're kind of expanding this to have the developer communities to be together.
And I know the Latin America Java user groups are collaborating right now to put on education programs. This is 7 or 8 Java user groups that are collaborating for that. That's phenomenal. Okay, we talked a little bit about the scale. We only have about a minute left here. Let's talk a little bit about mentorship. Why is that really important if you're new to a Java community, Java user group?
Well, I think, first of all, you need to be welcoming. New people are just as important as the people that are there. But you also want to grow your community. So I think mentorship is a great way of doing that by either learning them how to share the knowledge, speak at an event, but also some people are better in writing or other forms of sharing. And there are always people inside that user group that can help with these soft skills as well to broaden your career, basically.
Yeah, actually, this is very interesting because we're doing, even here in JavaOne, right, we're doing this mentorship hub, right, where, all of us are coming there to help you grow your career. So we're going to do today a more informal process where we're going to be there the whole day. So if you need help in your career, come stop by. And right after the keynote, we're going to do like a session focus on community. So if you're a community builder or you want to participate in a community, come with us.
Okay, we're out of time, so just a few second responses each. What does the Java community mean to you personally?
Join a community, learn from that, and that's how I got my job.
I came I started working with the daily Java user group in 2013 as a first-time author. It helped me start my career as a public speaker, and it helped me connect with leaders across the globe. I like to consider that as my extended Java family, and also become a Java champion.
Community is going to give you the thing that AI is not going to give you, relationships.
Great. And for me, it's liberation. That's what the Java community means for me. It's personal liberation. All right, guys, we're done. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage JetBrains developer advocate Anton Arapov.
Hello, JavaOne. Great to be here. Long time no see. My name is Anton. I'm a developer advocate at JetBrains. And I work with the IntelliJ team, and I've been a user for more than 20 years. And the reason I'm here on the stage today is that IntelliJ is celebrating its 25th birthday this year. Yay. So I want to share a story with you of the tool that has been shaped by the community, by this community, for these 25 years. So in Prague, in 2000, the 3 developers were pretty frustrated with the state of the Java tooling that was at that time. Java was 5 years old, but and tools actually worked, but they wanted more. They wanted a tool that would understand the code and reason about the code the way developers think about the code. And 1 year later, they had the first release of IntelliJ IDEA. And in fact, the first name of the product was IntelliJ Renamer. The name kind of refers what kind of functionality it had. Renaming a method across the entire code base in 2001 was a genuine novelty. And actually, it stays the most important refactoring to this date. Well, we've been evolving the tool with the help, with the input from the community over the 25 years further. The initial build was implemented with Java Swing. 25 years later, it's still Java Swing. You can feel the way you want to feel about it, but, well, we have some old builds, old binaries archived at GitHub, so if you feel nostalgic, you can download, run the very first version. I think 1.0.3 is the oldest release you can find there. Well, 25 years later, it's still the same UI built on top of the same foundation. It's still Java Swing. A lot of people are still surprised, are very surprised that it's still the same technology. But it kept up with all the design trends over the years. In 2009, we open sourced the core. So you can find all the source on GitHub. And it became the foundation for all other IDEs that we ship for Python, for PHP, for JavaScript, Rider for .NET, C-Line for C++ developers. And actually, community is free to take this base and build on top of that as well. And we have seen products based on the open source version. We also ship our version of OpenJDK, our build of OpenJDK that we call JetBrains Runtime. That is enhanced with Dynamic Code Evolution VM that brings the enhanced hot swap capabilities to developers. That's a really nice feature. It's a nice quality of life improvement where you can add new methods to the classes, new fields, restructure the classes. So it's very productive at the development time. So when we work on Java support, and when the new version of Java ships, IntelliJ has support from day one. There are a couple of highlights on this timeline that I want to point at. For instance, Java 8, that has been arguably the most important release ever with lambdas and streams, had support since IntelliJ IDEA 12, which was released in 2012, 2 years before Java 8 shipped. So by the time Java 8 released, you already could refactor or convert anonymous classes into lambdas with one keystroke. So it's not just syntax highlight, it's a deep understanding of the semantics of the code and providing not just colors on the code, but the refactorings and inspections and other analysis capabilities. And it's the same situation with value classes in Project Valhalla, for instance. It's still early preview. It's still not GA, but you can, IntelliJ IDEA already understands the feature. The screenshot that you can see there, it highlights the inspections, the warning. It warns you about the use of value class for synchronization. So it's, again, a deep understanding of the language feature that is not shipped yet. So the IDE wasn't following the language itself, it was helping you to get the language adopted. Other interesting feature that IntelliJ has is support for virtual threads. So virtual threads is arguably one of the most important additions to the platform that happened lately. A lot of people named that to me personally in the conversations. And IntelliJ Debugger has support for the virtual threads, showing the structured view of the stack traces in your application, because the stack trace is now much more interesting. There are thousands of threads, where it was previously a few dozens. So that's an important capability in the tooling now. So Java 26 shipped a couple of days ago, and we already had support for that since November last year. So you could download the previews of the JDK to play around and make sure that everything works in your projects. And just to prove my point, already now you can download the early access for Java 27 in IntelliJ IDEA. So we don't just support the language, we also try to support it the way you use it, with the frameworks, with Spring Framework, with Hibernate, Micronaut, Quarkus, building framework-aware tooling. Maven 4 support is in the tool before Maven 4 actually is released. We are working on supporting best practices for Gradle, Docker, Kubernetes, full testing stack. The number on the slide, 300,000 downloads in 7 months for the Spring debugger, is just a testament to the desire of developers who want to see what the framework is actually doing at the runtime. This is what the developers who downloaded it 300,000 times get. They get the full introspection into the application behavior right next to the code. You can inspect the beans, all the attributes. You can inspect the transactional logic managed by the framework, and it really gives deep insight into the application. So we are not just the IDE vendor. We try to contribute to the platform in various ways. We are on JCP executive committee. We commit to JDK. We support communities with licenses. Even being the commercial vendor, we actually supply licenses to JUGs, Java Champions program, to educators. And our technology is also open. There are some numbers. A lot of developers use IntelliJ IDEA in the world. A lot of students get the licenses because we want to invest into the community. Since 2017, we invest into the international collegiate programming contests. So it's our investment into all of you, into the upcoming generations as well. So let's talk about AI. We've been building the deterministic tooling for 25 years. Code understanding, refactoring, everything. And it's all available to the agents as well. So agents without ID are pretty unpredictable. They work on probabilities. And the ID without agents is not productive because, well, agents make you productive. So we want to make the deterministic capabilities of the ID available to the agents. Instead of working with raw text, the agent can get access to the syntax trees, refactorings, inspections. It can validate its work without guessing. It will know what exactly is happening. Yeah, and, well, 25 years of the foundational technology will help with that. It's an open platform, and we invest even more into this. Together with Zed, we decided to co-develop the agent client plot protocol so that you can bring any agent of your choice into the IDE. You can choose any provider, any local model, any cloud provider with a frontier model. You get any choice. You get the choice, like for the agents. You get the choice for the models, for any language, for any framework, and you get the deterministic control over the process as well. One thing happened last year. We decided to merge the free edition and the commercial edition into one distribution. And this might call for the questions. Is it still open? And yes, I want to stress, it's still open source. We actually provide even more free tools in the platform, in the free version, and the subscription remains for the framework-aware tooling, database tools, enterprise frameworks, and advanced AI capabilities. So it has been our strategy for 25 years to stay open, and it remains. We collaborate with community. We want to enable the early feedback loops for the Java platform. We believe in shared responsibility for the Java's future. We are here with the long-term commitment because we never took any funding. It's a self-funded company. And that's going to be the same for the future years to come. So we want to build, not just want to build the tools with the community, we want to built for everything. One more thing, we just launched Coog for agentic development. Coog is the framework that is a side product of our work when building AI agents. We have been building AI agents for quite a few years now. And we decided to share the core technology with the community as well. So it's open source. It's a reliable framework with AI observability workflows. There is fault tolerance built in, has cost optimization built in, and it's open source and it's on GitHub as well. There's a QR code on the screen. So recently, we also published a documentary about the challenges and the adventures of the ID and the company, how we were building the product and what happened over those 25 years. There is a QR code. Scan it. It is worth watching. And it was an honor to come to the stage here. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Please welcome back Shar Chander.
I thought it would be nice to bring a friend with me, don't you think? So Duke's been part of Java since its beginning. And what's so important about our future is we want to make sure that, here we go. We want to make sure that we have high quality content for you because education starts online in this new world we live in. A place where we can engage, a place where we can have both long-form and short-form content. And it's incumbent upon us as the stewards of Java to provide that to you. And I couldn't be more thankful than the developer advocacy team that creates all that rich learning material for you to engage with on a daily basis. But as we said, it's not always about content. The content is where we start. But it's a community where we connect, we collaborate, we share. And so our programs touch every facet of the planet. We have Java user groups all across the world, except Antarctica. Any bold ventures out there? You can help us start a Java user group in Antarctica, maybe? One of these people right here? We're also thankful for all of the Java user groups represented at JavaOne this year. We're so thankful for JUGs from Switzerland to Brazil. Brazil? Oh, there we go. And other parts of the world. And I'd also like to thank our Java champions. These individuals are so important. They are independent developers that travel the world, that educate people on the power of Java, inspired by what Duke represents, that concept of connection, that concept of people matter first, and I would leave a round of applause for all of the Java champions that are with us today. And it's also exciting to see so many of the other Java conferences represented at JavaOne this year. Remember, this is not a competition. JavaOne is our flagship moment to celebrate both the technology and the community, but to see so many other conferences around the world embracing Java, making it something that you can access locally, is so important to ensure that fabric of Java is spread across the world. And that isn't done by just inspiration, it's by perspiration. And I want to thank our team on the education side and our program side for all that they do. I'd really like to get everyone on stage who was part of today's keynote. Members of our Java Developer Relations team, all of our important panelists, our students, our startups, our user group leaders. Let's get them back on stage. Come on, join me. Don't be shy. Now, we cannot end a JavaOne keynote with something really important. So get your hands ready, because we're going to end this keynote with another JavaOne t-shirt toss. So all of you grab some t-shirts. Let's walk down those aisles. You have a great rest of your conference. Thank you so much.